Now, Chris, that we've had a chance to kind of sit back or stand back a little bit from things during the deadline, where do you see the American League East going right now? Baltimore's leading. We know that the Blue Jays are in second. They're 4 back. New York is third, 5 back. Tampa and Boston are both 9.5 back. Boston has effectively thrown in the towel based on some of their moves and some of the words you're hearing from them. Tampa appears to be looking at things and going, "We're not going to throw in the towel yet." What do you see happening in this division?
I mean, I think the no-brainer is it's going to be a 3-team race, or it looks like a 3-team race, and it's just going to be, it's going to be whoever can stay healthy. And right now, it's difficult for the Jays because they need to get healthy in a hurry, and it just doesn't look like it's happening, right? So I think it's become not 100% clear, but there was a time there where I was thinking that injury to Laurie might force the Jays' hand to go make a move.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't, so I think that shows, one, they're not really up for moving their top guys. They're not up for moving the Sanchez's, the Pompeys, the Nolans, the Stromans. So it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult for the Jays to battle back when they're when they're top guys, some of their top with Encarnacion out, with Laurie out. You can't go out and get a guy to make up for those unless you're going to give away some of those top prospects, and it doesn't look like they're going to do that. So, I mean, I think they're just kind of treading water here. The Orioles can do one of two things: they can kind of keep everybody in it, or they can run away with it. I think that right now they're probably the most, the best looking team to run away with it. Now they have that tough road trip coming up out west that kind of put the Jays where they're at. So we'll kind of have to wait and see how that road trip goes, but. I was around the Orioles. I was in that organization, and Buck kind of gets what he wants. He's a guy that gets what he wants. So I mean, I think if it comes time where they need to go get somebody, they're going to go get somebody, and it's going to be who Buck wants.
That organization, 2012, and really, I think since Buck sort of took over and started, Buck Showalter took over and started putting his imprint on it. It's a team that. 2012 defied odds in a lot of ways, right? I think their run differential was like 7 or something like that. But, man, they won one-run games. Their bullpen was practically bulletproof. What is it about Buck and that organization? And that's continued now. They still have good results in one-run games. They have good results in extra-inning games. What is it about that organization? It almost seems to have been part of their DNA now that, we've got them where we want them, right? We're in a close game where it's a one-run game. This is Baltimore Orioles baseball. What is it about that organization that kind of makes that so much of a factor?
Easy answer to that is their attention to detail. I was in spring training with them. The things that they do, it's not busy work. It's just, here, this is going to come up during the season. This is the way we're going to deal with it. We're going to bang it out really quick here for 10 minutes in spring training. We're going to do it maybe once, twice a week. And they were really prepared, and to the point where I was really impressed by that. Out of all the spring trainings I was at, that was one where it was, okay, we're going to be in the race down the stretch. And it was right after that year where they kind of bought in. And so there was some excitement around that team, and they really kind of grasped the idea of being that, that kind of blue collar team that wins those close games. But their attention to detail. And then you have a guy like a leader in that locker room, and Adam Jones, who he wants to play every day. We talked about this yesterday with Jeter. AJ wants to play every single day, and he plays hard, and you respect guys like that. And I've been impressed with how they bounce back, because when I was there, AJ was a leader, but it was Matt Wieters. Matt Wieters was the guy. He was almost like an extended manager on that team, and a tremendous amount of respect for him. He went down, and I mean, I kind of personally thought, well, that's going to be it for them. And, it seemed like they've just kind of bounced back and rolled with the punch there, and now they're in the best position in the AL East.
Yeah, and it's when you talk about details, I mean, to me, Buck Showalter is one of the ultimate details guy. I always tell a story about Jeff Zimmerman, a Canadian pitcher. I remember going to Arizona to interview him during spring training, and he was with Texas, and Buck was there, and there was an atomic clock in the middle of the clubhouse that broke the time down into like thousandths of a second, so that you're talking to a guy that's going on. And I was looking up like that, and I said, you're getting really close to having to go out in the field, aren't you? He goes, yeah, man, this drives me nuts. It's like every time I look up at it, it's like, oh my God, time is going away. Time is going away. It creates this real sense of sort of speed of everybody being on edge. But that's Buck, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's Buck. If you have to be in the field at 10, he's not talking 10:01. He's talking 10.
Yeah, the one thing I was surprised at a little bit with being with him is because of that reputation he had
Mm-hmm.
and the things you saw on, him taking somebody out on the set of ESPN,
Mm-hmm.
and the
That's right.
that one of the best clips ever, right? I think it was Harold Reynolds, right?
Yeah,
That he took out.
Yeah.
But I think I was surprised at how loose the guys were
Mhm.
around him. Like he expected a lot. He obviously garners a ton of respect, but the guys were really loose, and he joked with them. He knew everybody. Even
Mhm.
when the first day in there, I had been in the organization the year before, but I hadn't been in spring training. First day in, he knew everything about me. And throughout my career, you hear about good managers. You hear about the guys that are thinking ahead.
Mhm.
And so many people when I was there would say, Buck's not here today. Buck's here. He's 2 days ahead of us. He's already knows what's going to happen 2 days ahead. And I was always really impressed with that. And as I said, I didn't end up getting up there with him, but I have a lot of respect for that organization. Absolutely.